In this session, we will discuss about productivity and production system. So, productivity is nothing but the ratio of the physical goods or output that we have to produce and the input like cost involved in material, people employed, machines employed. So, we will discuss about productivity and different factors that will affect the productivity. And second topic is production system. In production system, we will discuss different type of production system. And production system is nothing but a system having different type of activities arranged in a logical manner. And there are different type of production system like continuous production system, intermittent production system, and job order production system. And we will also discuss about the types of system, means like series system in which machines are arranged one by one, then parallel system, and then combination of series and parallel like hybrid system. So, continuing with this productivity. Productivity is expressed as the ratio of an aggregate output to a single input or an aggregate input. Aggregate output means that is something usable to the customer or the product which is used for the second department or the product which is sent to the customer, internal customer or external customer also. And single input means we are using a single machine or single raw material we can say, or an aggregate input used in production processes. Aggregate input means machines, materials, a number of machines we can use, material we are using, and the number of people which we are using to produce some physical output. So, that is output per unit of the input, typically over a specific period of time. Now, productivity mathematically can be expressed as it is equal to the production divided by resources employed. So, from the example we can see that when we are increasing the production, it is not necessary that productivity increase because we are using the resources. At the same time, it may be possible that some resources we have to increase. So, productivity may increase, may remain same, or may decrease also. So, for example, a factory produces 20,000 piston rings, that is 20,000 piston rings by employing 100 workers at 8 hours per day for 25 days. If this factory increases its production to 24,000 piston rings by hiring 120 people, means we are increasing the people and we are increasing the production also. At 8 hours per day, timing is same for 25 days. Justify whether there is a change in productivity or not, means we can see that whether productivity is increasing or it will remain same or it can decrease also. So, when production of piston rings equal to the 20,000, productivity equal to the 20,000 piston rings, 20,000 piston rings divided by 100, that is the manpower used, into 8 is the 8 hours we are using per day and 25 working days are there. So, this will come out to be 1 piston ring per man hour. Okay. Now, when production of piston rings increases to 24,000, that is increases by 20%. Productivity equal to the 24,000 piston rings divided by 120. Now, we are using 120 manpower, same 8 hours shift and 25 working days in a month. So, this will come out to be 1 piston per ring per man hour, means the productivity in both the cases it is same. So it is clear that productivity remains the same even if the production of piston rings increases by 20%. Now another example, there are two factories producing two types of axle. 3 minutes is the standard time per piece. The production of two factories is 700 and 300 respectively per shift of 8 hours. So what is the productivity of each per shift and what is the production of each per week? 5 days. We are considering 5 days in a week on the basis of 3 shifts. So we know that productivity is equal to the actual production divided by standard production. So for factory 1, productivity is equal to the 700, that is the actual production, divided by total time available, that is 8 hours. We have now converted into minutes because 3 minutes is the standard time. So it is 8 into 60 divided by 3, and this will come out to be 4.375. For factory 2, productivity equal to the 300 is the actual output divided by 8 into 60 divided by 3. Standard time is same in both the cases, and this is 1.875. That is productivity for factory 2 is decreasing. Now production for factory 1, this is equal to the actual output, that is 700. Number of days we are considering 5 in a week into 3 shifts we are using. So this is equal to the 10,500. For factory 2, it is 300 into 5 into 3, that is 4,500. So the production for factory 1 is 10,500 and production for factory 2 it is 4,500. Now there are different ways to improve the productivity that we can discuss one by one. Number 1 is the method study. Method study, it is a technique to find the best method or procedure by eliminating unnecessary motions involved in a certain procedure or by changing the operation sequence. Operation sequence means we can say that because if we are using a single machine we are using, and number of operations like 5, 6, 7, 8 operations are going to perform on that machines. So when we are switching over from machine 1 to machine 2, machine 1 to machine 2, some changeover is there, and because of some changeover there is a loss of productivity. Changeover required means some changing of the modules we are using in a machine. That modules we can divide into two ways. That modules are like basic modules and auxiliary modules. Basic modules are those modules which we cannot add, replaced or readjust easily. Like if we are talking about a lathe machine, in this basic modules are columns and bed. But the auxiliary modules that we can add, remove and readjust easily are like a spindle module, some tool posts are there, and some motor drive arrangement that we can change depend upon the operation performed. So the cost involved in this process is huge. And when we are going to perform third operation, this is operation 1, operation 2, operation 3. So from operation 1 to 2 some adjustment is needed. Similarly from operation 2 to operation 3 again some adjustment is needed. Similarly 4, 5, 6, 7 n number of operations. So cumulatively adjustment or some loss of productivity is there. Some time will be consumed by the labor in changing those modules. So we have to see that in which sequence we can arrange. If there is a no constraint that we can perform fourth operation first or first operation at 4 number, then in which sequence, so that the total adjustment required, total time consumed on those adjustment will be less. So method study describes the optimal sequencing of operations. It also describes the eliminating of unnecessary motions involved. Bottleneck is there in a plant that will consume time. Customer is not paying for that. So we should use both the hands for some operations. It is not there like one hand is using and other is kept idle. We have to use such methods that will give less time to produce output. So this is the method study. Next is the market, consumer and product research. Market, consumer and product research describes, first is the market research. Market research is used to find out the problems relating to sale of goods. Means we have to search where to place the market so that maximum consumers can get the product easily. So for that, for maximum selling of the product, we have to check the outlet of the or location factors so that transportation cost will be minimum. Next is the consumer research. Consumer research is used for making products more suitable for them. Means we are making products for customer only. So if customer is facing any problem, that we have to solve initially. We can take the feedback from the customers. If customer is asking new features, some additional features in the existing product or a new product, then we have to add in at the design stage. Third is the product research. In this research, it is used to find whether it fulfills functional requirements or not. Means we are going to produce something, then deliver to the customer. If it is not performing or not giving full satisfaction to the customer, then we have to find some innovative ideas or technological changes we have to incorporate in those product by using some advanced machines or by changing some existing system so that it fulfills the functional requirement. Next is the specialization and standardization. It reduces idle time through variety reduction. Means when the process gets standardized, that has to follow a standard path. Means some things that will consume the time in producing the product will get reduced. Next is the product development. It reduces ineffective time due to design defects that we can solve easily by consulting with different departments like production, maintenance, quality at the development stage, so that the problems that will come during the production stage, that will be sorted out initially. Ways to improve productivity, then next factor is value analysis. Value analysis, it is used to find value added and non-value added activities by proper investigation of production activities. For that, we have to make a value stream map, that is VSM. Value stream map. This map will describe the value added activities and non-value added activities. And our aim is to maximize the value added activities by adding some features that is valuable to the customer and decreasing the non-value added activities like movement of the material in the plant. Some defect arises during the manufacturing of the product by the operator. So we have to give proper training to the operator. Some inventory which are not usable for production purposes, it is lying on the shop floor, that we have to minimize. So value analysis is again a critical factor for improving productivity. Then work measurement. Work measurement is basically the measurement which is a time study method. It is a technique used to find the time to carry out the work by most economical method. So in this, we have to check the time taken by the each activity. We have to divide all the process into micro processes. These processes which are used to produce some product, and take the time by using stopwatch. And we see that if there is some ineffective time, or we can club some two activities so that the total time will get reduced. Second is the standard time. Standard time which is used by a qualified operator to produce the product. In this method, what we have to do, we have to add some allowances also. That allowances like the allowances for fatigue allowance, allowances related to the personal need of the operator, allowances related to some breakdown, because penalty we cannot impose for breakdown of the machine to the worker, some shortage of the raw material. So for that duration, worker remains idle, or there is a loss of productivity. So for that, we give the allowance to the worker so that he get motivated and he can perform very well. He will perform very well and gives maximum output to the company. Next is the process planning and research. Process planning and research, it ensures the selection of right machines, and therefore work content decreases because of use of wrong machines. Means if there is not a proper planning, what happens in some cases, workers which are working on the shop floor, they are not able to judge the product by his naked eyes. If proper tagging on the in-process inventory, in-process raw material is not there, so there is a possibility that workers may operate those components on a wrong machine. So that will consume the cost and the loss of productivity also. So there should be proper tagging so that right machine is to be operated by the operator. Now next is the plant maintenance. Improper maintenance causes idleness of men and machines, and thereby reduces productivity because of breakdown of machines and plant suddenly. So regarding maintenance, we have to check the belt which we are using for driving the shaft. Proper tension of the belt should be there. There should not be any crack on the belt. Proper oiling should be there. Sound of the bearing should be proper. If possible, we can replace the machine, we can replace the belt, or we can change the drive of the machine to increase the productivity of the plant. Then material control. Material control, it ensures right type of material in right quantities and at right time. If we supply the wrong material to the right person, then there is a loss of productivity. This will reduce the idle time of men and machines also. When we are talking about material control, then we have to consider the two type of cost, that is ordering cost and carrying cost. These two costs are there, and where we are talking about controlling the material, these two costs should be minimum. Ordering cost is nothing but the cost involved in placing an order and receiving the goods. So we should place the order before the stock out is there, and the cost like transportation cost of the material, the people involved in placing the order. When we get the machine, when we get the raw material, we have to place those raw material in some store or some warehouse. So inventory carrying cost is there, the cost related to the rent of the warehouse. Some products are like they are very susceptible to climatic change, so some air conditioning is required. Some fragile materials are there. So for all these type of cost we have to minimize, and we get the optimal inventory. Next is the operator training. Through proper training of workers, uniform working methods can be ensured. When worker joins the line or joining the organization, he doesn't know the proper knowledge of the machines, and he should be trained by the employee of the company so that he get a practical knowledge and he get perform, and he should be competitive with the experienced workers, and therefore uniform working method can be ensured. Next is the production planning and control. Proper planning, control and scheduling. Scheduling means the product which are arriving on the machines, they should be operated on the machines based on some scheduling method like FIFO, first in first out. FIFO method, first in first out, or they are rule related to EDD, that is earlier due date. So there are methods that will describe the how we can operate or perform the raw material on the machines. And when we are considering the scheduling, there should be uniform loading of the workers to the machines. The workers should not be overloaded and should not remain idle. So these are the factors to improve the productivity. Now there are some factors like improved working conditions. Improved working conditions means proper ventilation should be there, the plant should be airy, lighting, if possible natural light should be there, there should be noise level, or if the noise level is high, then we should provide some equipment or something like that a person can take the use of this, so that he will not disturb by the noise of the sound produced by the machines. And personal comfort will have great impact on productivity. Next is the safety. Because of unsafe conditions, accidents will be there and it results in loss of time. This will reduce productivity. Unsafe conditions, we can say that like when a worker is operating a machine, he is loading the raw material on the machine and unloading the finished good after performed by the machine. So during that process, there is a possibility that the hand of the worker can get trapped between the machine. So there should be a proof system like alarm system should be there, so that accidents can be avoided. Next is the personnel policy. The policy of management to its employees, like relations with the trade unions, method of remuneration. If a worker is performing well, he is giving extra time to the company, he should be rewarded properly. Some welfare services like some cultural activities should be there. Social security, etc., will create healthy relationship between employees and management, and thereby ineffective time due to idleness, lateness, absence, carelessness, etc., will reduce. Now next is the production system. Production system means the methods, procedure or arrangement which includes all functions required to process or reprocess the inputs and deliver the output or goods. So this is about the production system, and in the next session we will discuss different type of production system like continuous production system, intermittent production system, job order production system, and also different type of system like series system, hybrid system and parallel system. Thank you.